Have you ever taken a dump so bad that it sunk a submarine?
What the fuck?
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Beaufort County Historical Library. World War II was a very interesting time in the world. Many tales of military prowess, victories, and losses came from that era. There are also a lot of really weird stories of bizarre happenings that leave historians baffled. One such story was the sinking of U-1206.
I figure with the current discussions of Nazis and their cutting-edge stupidity, this would be an appropriate story to tell.
U-1206 was a top-of-the-line German U-boat that began service towards the end of World War II. The Type 7C U-boats were designed to be sleek, silent, and deadly, and they were. They were pretty much the workhorse of the German Navy, also known as the Kriegsmarine. The 7C was considered top of the line because of the addition of an active sonar, some other minor mechanical improvements, and a snorkel. While at surface, the ship ran on a normal fuel-based motor. While submerged though, it runs on electric motors, which require rechargeable batteries to run.
Could you imagine not being able to use the bathroom for that long?
Actually, that was a consideration. You see, the previous U-boats and submarines would hold shit and other waste in a tank until they surfaced, at which point they would empty the tanks into the ocean. That way they didn't have to worry about pressure or backflow or any of that. They would just be able to dump their loads every 24 to 72 hours. Type 7C had a high-tech plumbing system that allowed them to be able to not have to hold the shit. Instead, the waste would drop into a little compartment, get sealed off, pressurized, and then launched out of a little tube into the ocean.
A torpedo!
Yeah, pretty much. Now, militaries around the world aren't exactly known for making their technology user-friendly, instead opting for functionality over ease of use. The Kriegsmarine were no exception. The flushing system was fairly complicated and required an engineer to be specially trained in how to use it.
I have no proof of this, but there are some who say that this engineering specialist was known as Der Scheissemann. Translated into English, this guy was known as the Shit Man.
Which, looking at the system, didn't honestly require much. Still, it's more than just pushing a lever. You had to know which valve to open first, close it, then open the other valve and close it. It was highly important to know the order of these valves, which is a lesson that Captain Schlitt had to learn the hard way.
Wait, are you serious?
What?
The captain's name was Schlitt. Was his first name Oliver?
No. It was Karl Adolf Schlitt. I don't get it.
Ollie Schlitt, man! Come on!
Anyway, there are two different stories of how the following situation went down. Considering that one account was made by Captain Schlitt and the other account was made by everybody else, I'll tell the more widespread account. The normal procedure for visiting the head on this U-boat was to let the toilet engineer know beforehand, so that he could be on standby to run the flushing system. While just outside the coast of Peterhead, Scotland, the captain thought, can't be that complicated, and went ahead and dropped his kids off at the pool without letting anyone know. Afterwards, Captain Schlitt realized that, well, while it's not technically complicated if you don't know what you're doing, it would be disastrous. Under that pressure, the captain called for the shit man.
What's crappening, Captain? I took the dookies, and I'm not sure what to do now. I pulled a lever. And nothing. Did you pull that lever there? I don't remember. I mean, it's kind of important. Did you pull that lever? Sure. Okay, so we'll just... Scheiße! 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 Scheiße!
As if that wasn't enough, the bilge system on the ship was already malfunctioning, which meant that the U-boat was now filling with a wonderful mix of ocean water and sewage.
Could you imagine? You're stuck in a 220-foot long metal tube with about 40 smelly-ass Nazis, one of which just died the day before from some illness, it doesn't say what, and suddenly the U-boat starts filling with shit water. I could just imagine them walking around perpetually dry heaving. I guess being a low-life scumbag bigoted turd nugget isn't all it's cracked up to be. You'd think people would learn!
And if you think that's the worst part, just hang on. You see, the batteries for the electric submerged cruising motors were stored just below the latrines. So all of that ocean/turd water was leaking into the battery bay. While you may be thinking that it would short things out and that's it, you forget what happens when batteries meet ocean water. It makes chlorine gas, which is highly toxic.
I know that there are a lot of people that say that the Kriegsmarine were the least Nazi of the Nazi military forces, but as a veteran, I can honestly say that I was just following orders is not an excuse. If you fight for Nazis, you're a Nazi. And I can't think of a better group of people for this to happen to.
The captain had no choice but to order the immediate surfacing of the U-boat to vent out the chlorine gas and make repairs in the middle of enemy territory.
I say, Reginald, would that be a U-boat off the port bow? What is erupting from it? I do believe that it has shat itself.
That's right. Of all the dumb luck, U-1206 happened to surface right next to a Royal Air Force battleship, who then began shelling the living fuck out of the U-boat. Schlitt was able to destroy sensitive information and order his men to abandon ship before scuttling it. They tried to make it to shore, but not before 3 more men drowned in the escape. The rest were captured by Allied forces. Later, Schlitt reported that he had been in the engine room when this happened, and what actually caused the sinking was the engineers trying to repair the plumbing.
We all know. We all know.
3 days after the sinking, Adolf Hitler would send himself to the great beyond. 8 days after that, Germany surrendered, ending World War II for Europe. Karl Adolf Schlitt went on to live until April of 2009, telling his side of the story to anybody that would listen. Today, U-1206 is still at the bottom of Cruden Bay, off the coast of Peterhead, Scotland.
I don't know, seems like a pretty crappy way to go. I'm sorry.
Thanks for watching, and thanks to the History Guy for their video on this subject, and oh boy is it a hell of a subject. Be sure to keep an eye out for the next episode of History 101 What the Fuck.